everyone. Welcome in. Come on 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 in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yes, yes, yes. Come on in here. 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 Come on. Come on. Y'all know how I do it. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Y'all come on. Where's my bell? Where's my bell? Y'all know I gotta have it is. Y'all know I gotta have my bell. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room, y'all. Come on. Come on. We gotta have a conversation tonight. Come on. Come on. Come on. And let me say this. First, let me say welcome, welcome, welcome to Miss J's Unfiltered Talk Show and Podcast. I want to thank y'all for being there. Those that's watching live, those that's going to be coming. Now, if you would, now, let me tell you how you're going to be watching live. Because you see those numbers just going and flicking and going and flicking. That means you watching your queen. Oh, your queen. Where's my crown? Your queen live, honey. And this is what I meant to put on for I came live, y'all. Anyway, it is what it is. But if you watching me, you watching them numbers just going up and down, going up and down. Yes, you watching me. You watching me live, okay? So if you come across this video and them numbers are not moving, that means my crown is crooked, y'all. I gotta get it right. That means you're watching your queen on the replay, okay? Y'all know what? Now hold on. I gotta get this right. I gotta get this right. There we go. Yes, you're gonna be watching your queen on the replay. And I appreciate that too. I appreciate that too. But come on in here, because this conversation we're gonna have to let me say this. Y'all may see me looking down some because for some reason or another, I'm not seeing my comments coming from YouTube in my software. So what I bright thought to do was just go on my YouTube channel and see my comments. So y'all gonna see me looking down some every now and then to see if I see any comments. It was coming up here like everything else, but just so happened it stopped. Matter of fact, it stopped 2 shows ago, but I just decided to go on and just do it a whole nother way. I contact the software. But anyway, yes, this conversation that we're gonna have tonight, this is one that's close to my heart, I'm not gonna lie about it. And it affects millions of families every single day, y'all. And the topic that I'm gonna talk about tonight is being a caregiver of a parent that has dementia and trying not to lose yourself. Trying not to lose yourself. Being the caregiver of a parent that has dementia while trying not to lose yourself. Now let me say this. It's not only strictly to caring for someone that has dementia. It could be you caring for your spouse for whatever reason. But somehow or another, you gotta try not to lose yourself. Okay? That's why I'm cricket. You gotta try not to lose yourself, all right? You have to try not to do that. And y'all bear with me. For some reason, it's like I'm trying to get hoarse a little bit. Don't know why, because I haven't been screaming, haven't been yelling. I don't know what it is. Get me water right here. And y'all give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me real good, because y'all know me, I'm steady doing stuff. I gotta do microphones. This is my first time using it. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, okay? Let me get up here to my comment. And but definitely. Hey love, thank you for being in here. Thank you so much for being in here. Y'all know I appreciate it, right? Excuse me. Y'all know I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. So much. All right. So let me get into but before I get started, I still want to say this stuff. I know a lot of us may know people that's living with dementia and Alzheimer's, but they're not the same. They're not. They are not the same. Y'all go watch my segment, Alzheimer's versus dementia. They are not the same. I used to think it was, but they're not the same. But I just want to focus more on the group of people that often goes unnoticed, and that's the caregivers. Okay, not saying that the people that have the dementia is not important, but let's talk about the caregivers. Okay, now the caregivers, they can be husbands, wives, brother, sister, aunt, niece, nephew, cousin, can be a caregiver. Okay, any family member can be a caregiver. All right. But one thing I want you to, if you're a caregiver and you watching this, I see you. I see you. Okay? We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about those feelings that caregivers go through. We're gonna talk about why y'all are called the invisible patient. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk invisible caregiving. We're gonna talk about it. All right, but before I get started, I want to thank my gold partner, Arconic Entertainment LLC Media. Their documentary, Beyond the Diagnosis, follows 3 Southern women living openly with HIV and takes us beyond the stigma into stories of resilience, faith, sisterhood, and thriving. Beyond the Diagnosis, it is coming November 2026, and you will be able to see it streaming on Jargo, Jarago, AGO. Okay, jargon, all right? So sit tight. I'm getting ready to get started, all right? Get ready to get started. So, this is a misunderstanding. This is a misunderstanding about dementia. A lot of people think dementia is, and it is not a specific disease. It's not. This term describes a group of symptoms. Keep that word in mind, because I got y'all. I'm reading my notes here. It's a group of symptoms, all right, that affects your memory, your thinking, your reasoning, the way you communicate, and it also debilitates people ways to carry out everyday tasks. All right. So, and this takes place in our brain. In the individual's brain, right? One thing I want everybody to understand and remember: dementia is not a normal part of aging. I'm gonna say that again for those folks sitting back there thinking it's okay. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. I'm gonna say it again. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. Okay? I mean, yeah, we get older. As we get older, we might forget some stuff, but you gotta pay very attention to that, y'all. We in our 60s and 70s, 80s. We have to pay very close attention. All right? And if you've been with your husband or your wife or your partner for quite a while, you'll notice some things off about me. Sure. We're gonna forget where we put our keys in. Who don't? I mean, hell, I started doing that when I was in my 20s, to be very honest. I would put my keys somewhere and can't. That just started happening because I'm 64. No. I can honestly say I started doing that in my in my 20s. In my 20s, I did. But that didn't mean I had dementia in my 20s. But things like that happen. But what you gotta understand, if you've been with somebody quite a while, and let's say you noticing them taking the keys and put them inside the refrigerator. Now you know that's not normal, right? Now you notice you notice the first 2 times they have done that looking for the keys, and just what happened, you go in the refrigerator, they're in the refrigerator. First time you didn't say nothing. You just got them out and let nothing wrong. Okay? Okay, I found the keys, but you didn't tell them really well. Second time, same thing. Next thing you know, they gotta go somewhere. We're looking for the keys. While they look for the keys, you decide to get you something to drink. There go the keys in the refrigerator again. Okay, y'all listen to me. And that's the second time you done seen them keys. And you know you done put them in there. Okay? That's the second time you done seen them keys in the refrigerator. Now what needs to happen? We need to have a conversation. We don't wait till the third time. We need to have a conversation. Is this thing going on? Because, you know, you done put the keys in the refrigerator 3 times. Then you get hindsight. You'll remember how a couple times they kept asking you the same question over again. See, a lot of us is scared to have that conversation. A lot of us, but we need to. Because you know that's not a normal thing if you see that your loved one is putting the keys in the refrigerator. You know that's not normal. And you know that's not normal forgetting. No, that's not. No, that's not. Or if you notice it, when they get ready to clear their plate, they're throwing the whole plate away. The dishes, the utensils and everything. And it's not a paper plate, it's your plate. Now you'd have noticed them doing that a couple times. I'm going to tell y'all why I'm bringing this up. And I want y'all to go watch it. It's called The Christmas Room. It's called The Christmas Room. You're going to be so amazed about that video. That really brought a lot of things in hindsight for me. The Christmas Room. And I think it's on Tubi. Look it up. The Christmas Room. Okay? Y'all go watch that movie. Those that may think something might be going on with their partner or their mother or their father, please go watch that movie. The Christmas Room. That's the name of it. Again, The Christmas Room. If it ain't on Tubi, it might be on Netflix, but I think it's on Tubi. Anyway, if you put it in, it'll tell you where you can go see it at, okay? It might be on Amazon. But I watched it. And it broke my heart. I cried when I watched it. I did. But as I watched it, a lot of things in hindsight started coming to me. Okay? Go watch that movie. Please do. And when y'all watch it, if y'all watching this, and if y'all do decide to go watch it between now and then, just know, talk about the movie in a post or something. Just tag me in and give me y'all thoughts about it. Okay? The Christmas Room. But yes, a lot of us don't want to have that conversation. But as we start noticing things. We start noticing leaving the stove on. Now, occasionally, that's going to happen to somebody in their 30s. You know what I mean? Not leaving the stove on while you're burning something, but maybe you just took the stuff off the stove and taking it over to the collard greens. You know, you done took the collards off and you're over there at the sink draining them and everything. You done chopped them up and everything. But you know you got the stove real low, but you still see the light on. You know, it's not burning nothing, but you still see the light was there for. That happens. But if somebody's doing that too much, take hindsight up. Please do. Take hindsight up. Take hindsight up, please. Hey, Lanisha, thank you for being in here, my love. Thank you for coming in here. Thank you. And let me say this. If anybody want to come up and have this conversation with me, y'all let me know and I'll send you the link, okay? We can have this conversation together. Y'all know I invite people to come up and have this conversation with me. And if you don't want to come up on camera, you don't have to. But y'all know I would never do that to people. I don't want to come on camera. That's fine, my love. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, I see some comments down here on my YouTube, but I'm not going to respond to them right now. Okay. Thank you for being in here. Thank you. So yes, as we get older, occasionally we're going to forget. We are. But just take notice of it. And if you start noticing your own self, because let me tell you something about that movie. It was a group setting and they got to talking, right? And actually based on true story. And in that support group, one of the things was the lady, she said, and when she said that, it hit me, man. She said, well, you know what? I really thought it was just regular forgetting. That person thought that their husband was going through just regular forgetting until her husband got diagnosed with dementia. Okay? Please take notice, all right? But when you noticing your memory and thinking and stuff is changing and it's causing issues, go get some help. Go and ask, something's going on with me, I don't know. I notice I'm forgetting a whole lot. Oh yeah. And another thing, take notice. If your partner or even you notice you forgetting to pay bills. Okay? If you're forgetting to pay bills, take notice of that. Just take notice of it's the little things. It's the little things, okay? And about as we get older, yeah, we know we might go somewhere and forget how to get down. Let me ask this question before I say this. How many right now watching, be honest, the age that you are right now, and let's say the area that you grew up in 40 years ago or 30 years ago or 50 years ago, you 60 something, 70 something, or 40 something, 50 something, 30 years ago, 45 years ago. Let me ask you this. If you go back to that neighborhood, would you be able to remember, be honest, would you be able to remember all them little side streets you used to go to, all them little shortcuts you used to take going through somebody's yard? Would you really be able to remember that? Come on, let's be honest. Let's talk about it. Would you, 40 some years ago, you've been out that neighborhood 50 years. I'm 64 years old. I haven't been out of Rocky Mount 40 years, but I've been out of Rocky Mount 15 years. You see what I'm saying? But now, if I to go to Rocky Mount, you talking about 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away from here. And if I go go where I used to stay before I moved here, that area, now you just talking about just 15 years ago. But if I find myself in that area and don't know where I'm at, see, that would scare me. That would scare me because I would definitely know, wait a minute, some ain't right here. Because you just talking about 15 years ago, I just left it. But what if you've been gone from that area 40 years? Do you really think that y'all will be able to remember that area where you used to sit and cut the jive with everybody? Or, yeah, this so house was right here. We used to go, we used to take this shortcut. Do y'all think y'all remember that? Be honest. Me personally, I'm 64. I really feel like if I would have been in Wilson 40 years, I really don't feel like I would remember every little nook and cranny of where I grew up in. Once I get there, if I feel like it'll come to me then. Oh yeah, now okay, yeah, that used to be Mr. Bernard's store. He had a store right there. He used to come in and give us free cash. The store coming to me then. But I mean, I just ask you, y'all be honest. You think you remember? You think you remember? You think you remember? But just the simplest task can be a sign, okay? Can be a warning sign. Now, we looking at different types of dementia, right? And I remember some of the celebrities having this too. Some of the different types is we have the Alzheimer's, right? The Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia, right? It develops gradually and often begins with memory loss, okay? But as it progresses, it can affect communication, decision making, and the ability to perform everyday activities, okay? That's Alzheimer's, right? Or Alzheimer's, as some people say, right? Alzheimer's, all right? That's what some people call it. Turn this down. We got 2 more comments. Okay. That's Alzheimer's, all right? Now we have the vascular dementia, all right? This is the one Bruce Willis has, the vascular one. This is the one on that show that this man had, the Christmas room. He had the vascular one also. This is caused by reduced blood flow to the brain, often following one or more strokes. Okay, following more or one stroke. No, I'm wrong. He didn't have that one. He had the next one I'm gonna talk about. But this one, the vascular dementia, this is caused by having one or more strokes. Okay. And the symptoms can vary depending on which part of the brain that was affected. Now, this one called the Lewy dementia. It affects the thinking, the movement, and your behavior. Some people experience visual hallucinations, changes in alertness, sleep disturbances, or symptoms similar to Parkinson's disease. Let me talk about something. I remember when Bruce Willis, the wife now, when she came out, when they admitted it, right? And she came out and said how she knew something was not right with him was because of this right here. When family or people would come over, he would not indulge. He would go to a room to himself and put headphones on and watch TV. That was not him. I watched that interview when she gave. That was not him. She said that's when she knew something was not right. Because people come over, he indulged, have a good time. No, it wasn't. He whole attitude changed, whole personality had changed. Okay? Whole personality had changed. Now, this one is what they saying when the Williams have the frontal temporal dementia, right? This often affects personality, behavior, and language before memory problems. The frontal lobe one, all right? The frontal lobe one. And it also sometimes dramatic changes in how the loved one acts or communicates. That's the one that, from my understanding, I remember seeing when the Williams was allegedly diagnosed with this kind right here. Now we're talking about the dementia, but it's a lot of myths concerning dementia. All right. One myth is that everyone who gets older will eventually get dementia. No, that is totally false. That simply isn't true. Many people live long, healthy lives even without developing dementia. My grandmother was 80, 86, 87 years old, and she left this world on her right mind. She left this world on her right mind. She sure did. She left this world on her right mind. Another myth is that people living with dementia no longer understand or feel anything. Really? They don't feel anything. Really? That's a myth. While they may struggle to express themselves, many still experience feelings and love and joy and comfort, fear, being upset, trust me, they feel things. That's a lie. That's a lie. They feel things. They do. They still feel love. They still feel happy. They still feel joy. They still get excited. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The myths behind about dementia. But this is where awareness come in here. Y'all know I'm all about doing that anyway, okay? Y'all know I'm always about trying to bring awareness to something. But there's one thing I want people to remember that and understand me. The person that is living with dementia is not trying to be difficult. They are not. They are not trying to be difficult. You got to understand it. You got to understand. Okay, prime example. Let's go here. Let's say this right here. Let's try to put ourselves in a person's shoes like this. You got to understand it. How do you think they feel? Well, they look at you, and you know you their child. You know you their daughter. You see what I'm saying? You know that's your mom. You know that, right? But they looking at you, they don't even know who you are. They think you're a neighbor. But how do you think that makes them feel? Because they still feel, y'all. Don't you think that makes them scared? Because number one, they don't know you, their child. They thinking you a stranger in that circumference with them. Now they never know what might be in their mind. They wonder, is this stranger gonna try to hurt me? But you their child. You gotta ask yourself that question. How you think they feel? They do feel. Put yourself in their place. You stand there, your child looking at you, but you do not know who he or she is, or your husband is. You thinking this is a stranger. You in this house, in this bed, there in this bed. Wait a minute, what are these strangers? You gotta ask yourself about them. They're not trying to be difficult. They just don't understand what is going on around them. They don't. Okay? They don't want to be forgetting everybody. They don't. Who does? Who wants to forget their family member? Who wants to forget their husband? Who wants to forget their wife? Husband laying there trying his best to remember who his wife is. Who wants to do that? That's not being done on purpose. Or she can remember. Ain't nothing wrong with her. She can remember. Or he can remember. Depending on the stage. Okay? But we also got to understand that they're living with different changes going on in their brain, y'all. Different changes that is happening in their brain. Let me say this too. If you're a caregiver, or if you have someone that has dementia or Alzheimer's, what you do not do, let's say if they bring up Uncle Charlie, their brother, okay, and they might say, yeah, I need to call Charlie. I haven't talked with him in 2 days or 2 weeks. What you don't do, you don't say, Mom or Dad, Uncle Charlie died 10 years ago. You don't ever do that. You don't ever do that. Do anybody know why? You don't tell them that. What you say is, yeah, Mom, I got to find his phone number for you. Or Dad, I got to find his phone number for you. You don't ever tell a person that they bring up they dead. They died 2 days ago or a week ago. You don't ever do that. Because what you have done now, you have caused that person to start worrying. Yes, they do worry. Okay? It's just a little tidbit. You don't do that. And if they asking you something over again, they ask you that question, 10 minutes from now, they ask you again. Don't say, Dad, you done answered already. Answer that question. I don't care how many times they ask. Answer that question for them. And then what you can also do, you can stir the conversation a whole different direction. First thing say, Dad, what you want to eat? See, they're not their whole conversation right on out the way now. Okay? Don't tell them, you done already asked me that. They don't know. They don't know. They don't. But what we got to understand, to me, the best thing that we, as children that may have someone that has dementia or Alzheimer's, or got a cousin that got it, and we know that's one of our favorite cousins or favorite aunt, what we can best do for them is give them patience. Best gift we can offer them is patience and understanding. Best gifts. Now, I don't want to go over there because every time I sit around, she keeps talking about the same thing. So what? Let her talk about it. Let her talk about the same thing. Let them talk about the same thing. But the best thing we can give our loved one or a neighbor that we really care about, we find out they're going through that, is patience and compassion. Not sympathy. Patience and compassion. Please do that. And we also got to make sure that we are reassuring them that everything is going to be okay. We got to keep reassuring them that everything is going to be okay. I hope somebody's getting this. Thank y'all for being in here. I appreciate it. Let me get my YouTube, y'all. Okay. Yep. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to shift the focus from diagnosis to the people standing beside those living with dementia. Let's get it now. Let's get it. I'm shifting the focus now from the diagnosis of what up kind to the people that's standing in there. All right. So, when you're going through that journey with someone that has dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever it may be, It could be cancer or something. You see what I'm saying? But that's a journey that's gonna alter their mind state. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But that's something that's gonna alter their mind state, right? But when you go through that journey, and because you know it changes the person. And the dementia, any kind of thing, it changes the person, right? But it shouldn't change the way that you still love and care for them. It still shouldn't change the way that you love and care for them. Because of the journey that they're going through, should never change the way that you care and love for them. Period. Regardless of who it is. Okay? Regardless of who it is. But that's where the conversation really begins. Is how you continue to love and care for them. That's where the conversation really begins. So, I want y'all to stay with me because the next thing I'm going to talk about is who becomes the caregiver. We get to the meat of it now. Who becomes the caregiver? And why so many experts refers to the caregiver as the invisible patient. Why does even the doctors look at those as the invisible patient? Who becomes the caregiver, and why many experts refer to caregivers as the invisible patient? We get ready to get into it. So, for my dementia caregivers, I understand that caring for someone while trying not to lose yourself is hard. It's hard. It's hard. Let me see how to say this. The truth is, anyone can become a caregiver at any time. Dementia does not, does not discriminate, does not decide to show up. It decides to show up when you least expect it. Okay? And it's hard. It's hard to have a parent, a brother, a sister, a daddy, an aunt, an uncle, your neighbor that you love so much, you care so much about, and you know they have dementia. That is hard. That is so hard. That is so hard to watch the man or the woman that raised you decline. That's hard to watch. And some people just can't do it. I'm going to get into that in a minute. I'm going to talk a little more about that in a minute. Let me go on. Becoming a caregiver, I already know, don't nobody wake up and say, oh, well, I guess I'll become a caregiver today. No. It happens. It happens. It happens. Before you even realize it, it happens. How it happens, how becoming a caregiver happens, behind one phone call. That dreaded phone call. You heard something over that other phone, that line. Now you know you got to start putting stuff in motion. You got to start putting stuff in motion. Now I'm going to talk really deep about this, because this, like I said, this is something that's very close to my heart. It's been something very close to my heart. And y'all know me, I keep it 100. Y'all know me. Y'all know how I am. But it comes from that phone call from that doctor giving you the diagnosis of your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, or you heard about your aunt or your uncle. That's where it comes. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. Okay? You gotta look at the fact one minute your parent or parents, mom and dad or sister, brother, they one day they're living all independent, they're doing things, and next thing, remember I said they forgetting to pay their bills. Next thing you know, you coming over there lights out. Mama, you ain't paid. Dad, y'all ain't paid. Or mama, you ain't paid the bill. Or dad, you ain't paid the bill. Wait a minute, I thought I paid the bill. And you look and see they ain't paid. That's why the lights are out. And they always been on there. They never in 60 years, never had the lights turned out. But all of a sudden, just so happen you decide to ride over there, they're sitting in the dark. Mom and dad is sitting in the dark. Because daddy, whichever one got dementia, they forgot to pay the bill. But they thinking they done paid it. That kind of stuff, okay? Or like I said, repeating the same question over and over and over and over again. Start noticing that. And if your mom or dad start doing that, okay? Or your aunt and uncle around you start asking you the same question at a family reunion. He asks you the same question over and over again. Yeah, think about it, okay? Now, this is the part where I talk about your spouse. So your spouse forgetting familiar names, appointments, or even how to complete daily tasks, that's a problem. If your spouse is forgetting their appointments, if you're forgetting your appointments, think about that thing. And then you noticing both of y'all noticing one another. You in the household, you noticing things about him. They know some things about you, but somebody gonna end up with the dementia. Just saying, okay? But these are things you gotta look for. Forgetting daily tasks. You got a parent that has a pet, and you notice when you go over there, now the pet was kind of fat a little bit. 2 months later, you go over there, wait a minute now. The household, the pet is in the house. This little not Lola losing weight. You ask the mama or daddy, you been feeding Lola? Yeah, okay. Now another month, you go over there. You see Lola ribs now. See, mama or daddy is forgetting to feed the dog. And then let's say you decide to take the dog to the vet. You decide to do it. Your mama, come on, mom, let's take her to the vet because she don't look right. And the vet gonna go on and let you know what she hasn't been eating in 3 months. But mama's sitting there telling you, or dad's sitting there telling you, no, I've been feeding her. But obviously, looking at the dog Lola ain't been eating. It's those things like that. Forgetting that daily task to feed that pet. Or to feed themselves. Let's go there. Even feed themselves, okay? If you start doing stuff like that, right? The thing of that, what happens, you slowly start going from being a husband or wife, a son or daughter, a grandchild, to a caregiver. That slowly starts happening. Thank y'all for being in here. Hey, Coach, how you doing, my love? Thank you for being in here. Thank you for being in here. You slowly start becoming a caregiver, okay? You done went from a husband, from a wife, to a son, grandson, a niece, or whatever. Now, you're a caregiver. Just like that, okay? Just like that. Just like that. And I told y'all, and I'm going to say it again, being a caregiver, it does not discriminate. It can happen to anybody. Even the rich is rich. End up being caregiver. Or they pay somebody to do it, but y'all get what I'm saying. Still, that person going to be a caregiver to that person, right? Exactly. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate at all. So what I'm getting ready to do real quick now, I'm getting ready to show, I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to show this clip of my, let me find it. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. Let me find a clip. I had it ready, y'all, but it done left and went somewhere. Gotta find it. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. There we go. I got my note here that I want to say about it. Hold on. Y'all excuse me. Let me get my note. Because I like to do stuff right. Y'all know me. Those that know me know I like to do stuff right. Y'all grab out some water real quick. I'm about to end. I ain't gonna be up here too much longer. My throat is dry for some reason. Y'all excuse me. Don't know why. Y'all know I like to give people their flowers, so just hold on. I'm gonna make sure it's done right. It's just me. Okay, I got it. Let me turn this music off because I want y'all to hear what they're gonna be saying. Right here. So this clip that I'm getting ready to show is beyond the diagnosis. This is a 60-minute. It's going to be a 60-minute documentary following 3 Southern women living openly with HIV, and those queens' names are Dominique Grant of Jackson, Mississippi, Dr. Joyce Turner Keller, and Melissa Foster of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Their stories reveal the reality beyond the stigma, okay? Beyond the stigma. Real resilience, faith, sisterhood, and the power to thrive. This will be coming in November of 2026, and it's going to be streaming on Jarigo, okay? Let me play the clip. Y'all pay attention, okay? Y'all listen. True story. True people.
They told me 3 letters would define me. They told me to be quiet, to be ashamed.
HIV is not who I am. It does not define me. It's just something that has to live with me.
What do HIV look like? It look like me. That girl, that pretty young black girl thriving.
The thing I want the world to know about my life is that my life has never been easy. Every ache, every pain, every disappointment, it has been necessary.
HIV is not who I am. It does not define me. It's just something that has to live with me.
My status is not who I am. It does not define me. And when you start living for you and not people, you wake something up on the inside of you. You know who you are. You know whose you are. It doesn't matter what people think or say. You got this because God got you.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, our Iconic Entertainment LLC Media. I really appreciate that clip, and appreciate you being a gold partner for Miss J's Unfiltered Talk Show and Podcast. I really appreciate that. I will be having a part 2 of my Let's Talk About HIV, the myths versus the truth. It's coming this month or next month. I will be having part 2 of that conversation. If you missed it, it's listed on YouTube. Okay, so let me get back to where excuse me, where I was at, so we can finish up. So as I was stating, it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate. So over the years, I told you the healthcare profession has always called the caregiver the invisible patient. But I want you to think about those words for a minute. Think about, thank you for being in here, Miss Gupton. Thank you. This one, because I want you to think about that for a minute, the invisible patient. Think about that. Think about that. Why do you think they use that phrase, the invisible patient? Why do you think that they use that phrase? Come on and talk to me. Why do y'all think that phrase is being used? Healthcare professionals consider caregivers as invisible patient, the invisible patient. Because while everyone is focused on the person living with the dementia, not trying to be funny, excuse me, not trying to be funny now, really, not trying to be funny. Another person is quietly carrying a huge burden. That person is the caregiver. That person is the caregiver. We don't know what happened to them behind closed doors. We don't know what happened to their mental, why they're doing what they're doing. Okay? I'm going to get ready to talk about something in a few minutes. I'm going to share something in a few minutes. But as I stated, not trying to be funny, but people are always asking the person with the dementia, how you doing? What about asking the caregiver, how you doing? Not trying to be funny. Let's think about that now. What about asking the caregiver, how you doing? People will ask, be in the street and say, how your dad doing? Asking how the dad doing. What about how the caregiver is doing? How your uncle doing? How your mom doing? What about how the caregiver is doing? Okay? I just want y'all to see something now. I want y'all to see something. Those are caring and important questions that we need to be asking our caregivers. They are. Not saying that it's not important for them to be asking how the mom or dad or whoever's doing, but what about asking how the caregiver is doing? Again, being a caregiver of a parent with dementia while trying not to lose yourself. This episode is being sponsored by County Entertainment, LLC Media. This is a very important conversation, guys. Very important conversation. Ask them how they're doing. Ask that caregiver, how they're doing. Okay? And if you ask one that, do you think that caregiver is going to know exactly how to answer that question? Let's talk about it. Would you know how to answer that question? Would you know how to answer that question? But see, here's the thing. When you ask that question, be ready to listen. Don't just ask that question just to be asking that question. Be ready to listen. Hear what they got to say. Hear what they got to say. Hear what they got to say. And the sad part of the reason why I said, and you try not to lose yourself, because as a caregiver, a lot of caregivers forget about their own doctor's appointment. Forget about going to get the nails done. Forget about going to church. Forget about going out to eat with friend girls or whatever, or husband. Start losing themselves. Just forget about themselves. Okay? What is really going on? They really have stopped checking in on themselves. They stopped checking in on their own self because they started doing it for someone else. And there's nothing wrong with that now. Like I said, now don't get me wrong. But that's a journey being a caregiver. It's a journey, and I know that. It's a journey doing that, right? A lot of the caregivers, you got to look at the fact they running off very little sleep because they got to get up, time they get home or whatever. They got to get up and get stuff right. They get up early the next day, running off very little sleep. Probably hardly not eating like they're supposed to. See what I'm saying? Their whole eating habits can change. Now you're looking at the situation with a marriage. If you got somebody in the marriage, parent, that's dealing with something of this nature. Now we got issues in the marriage now because the wife became the caregiver of her mom or dad, or the husband became a caregiver of his mom and dad, or brother or sister. Y'all see what I'm saying? Now we got some friction in the house, and it happens, y'all. So let's don't sit up here like it don't. It happens. It happens. It happens. It happens because it's no understanding there in that household. That person is not an understanding person to get an attitude with their husband, their wife, because they're over there taking care of their parents. That's a nasty person. No understanding, no compassion. But there go friction in the house now. It happens. It happens. A lot of experience emotional exhaustion, physical exhaustion, financial stress, going through all of that, y'all. Mental stress. I'm going to take this time right here to go ahead on and share what I said I was going to talk about. Everybody, those of y'all know my situation, okay? I have a mother that's actually going through that, okay? Y'all know how I got up here and I talked about, and it's the truth, how I had to go into therapy. And the reason is this. I was in denial about this situation. I was in denial. I was. For several months, I was in denial. Now, ain't nothing wrong. And now what I was doing, I can't say, now this is real talk, I can't say how my other siblings took it, but I know it hit me hard. It knocked me off my rocker. It did. To the point I had to sit out here 6.5 months in front of this computer talking to a therapist. 3 days out of the week, about 5 to 6 hours. Take a break, 3 hours here, take a break, and I come back. I did the max. Because I asked, how long can I go? I had to get my mental right. It threw me for a loop. And because of that, you see, like I said, you watching your parent, your mom or your dad, the one that gave you life, decline, not knowing who you are. That's a hurting thing. Like I said, and I'm gonna say it again, I don't know how my other siblings took it. I know it messed me up. And I had to sit here in this studio and get myself right. Now, and the reason why I was going, because I was going every day. I was going every day except Sunday. And I was doing that, I did about 5.5, 6 months, every day. But I thought I was okay. I was going. And a couple of people kept saying, you slow down, but I'm coming back. No, that's my mama. I'm going over there to see my mom. But see, I wasn't realizing I was harming me. Try not to lose yourself. Excuse me, try not to lose yourself. I didn't realize I was harming me. This is real talk. I didn't realize I was losing me until it was just about too late. But I realized that I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown myself. That's real. This is real talk. And I had to go get it right. I did it. I told y'all about it. I shared it with y'all. Those that remember, I did. I had to go get it right. So now what? Now, honestly, what I decided I was going to do, I go see my mama when I'm ready to go see my mama. Because I know what it does to me. I know what it does to me. Give you another prime example. It's okay. And see, to me, family members shouldn't get pissed off or upset because of the way somebody feels. I know somebody right now didn't even go to their own father's funeral 2 months ago, 3 months ago. They couldn't take it. I had a conversation with them. They couldn't take it. I didn't tell them, girl, you crazy. That's your daddy. Why do you go? I didn't do that. You don't know what a person can handle. I was just there to allow them to vent to me and talk to me. I didn't pass no judgment. Who am I to tell that person you have been changing you to go to your dad's funeral? If she wasn't able mentally to go, leave her alone about it. That's what I feel about that. Leave her alone about it. You can't, your family shouldn't be trying to write your appetite for you. That's the bottom line about that. See, for a long time, I wasn't even choosing me. For a long time, I was not choosing me. And recently, about a year ago, I decided to choose me. My peace, my boundaries. It's hard to sit and watch your parent like that and don't feel something. But I thought I was okay. But when I realized I won't, whenever I would leave, I would get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe 11, I'm leaving out 7 o'clock. Latest I had been left 8 o'clock at night, and I'm crying on the way home. 20-minute ride, crying. That's when I started saying to myself, hold on, wait a minute now. What's going on with you, girl? That's when I started realizing. Yeah, I got it. And then it was a show that I did. Like I told you, I'm very honest. Let me get back to this. It was a show that I did, and I didn't even realize, did a live talk show like I'm doing now. It was brought to my attention to go back and watch that show and let me know what you think about yourself. I took it down. It's not up there. I went and watched that show. That was my confirmation that it was time for me to go get me some help. Tell y'all why. Because I was stumbling over every word I could think of. Couldn't get how to get no words out. That was a terrible show I did. That was because that stuff had beginning to start taking a toll on me. That was when I said, oh my gosh. Somebody close to me told me, go watch that video and let me know what you think. Go watch your video. That was when I said, okay, something's not right. And that's what it was. That situation, that diagnosis, it threw me. It took me for a loop. That's my mama. That's my mama there. You know, she don't know. She'll know who I am sometimes she don't. But like I said, and I say it again, for the one that's still way back there with about wondering, so why she talk about that? Because I want to. I can't say how it's going to affect you, my other siblings, but I know what it did to me. I know it was time for me to step back. It was time for me to step back. See, because I'm not going to be no good for nobody. My mind ain't right. Hello. I'm not going to be no good for nobody. My mind is not right. I had to go take care of me. And I never understand family members get all bent out of shape when you decide to step back and come when you get ready. It is what it is. Now let me get back to this. And as I was saying, some of the caregivers, they be physically exhausted, have financial stress, they forget about their financial stuff, just going through it, right? I get it. Some people begin to neglecting their own health. I told you, not even going to their own doctor appointments. Now you done realize it done been a whole year, you ain't had your mammogram, and you always stayed on that. It done been 2 years, you still caregiving, you ain't even had your pap smear, you stayed on that. Wow, your doctor's just calling you, and you finally called them back, and then they telling you, well, we see here it's been 2 years, you haven't had your mammogram or your pap. You're like, what? You didn't even realize. Neglecting your own health. A lot of caregivers does that. And I told you, don't be eating right, none of that. But they be saying, oh, I do it later on. I take care of it later. And later don't never come. But they just keep it on rolling and going. Okay? There's another part of caregiving that people do not understand enough about, and that's grief. Grief. Not just grief that comes from losing someone, but grief that comes with while they are still here. And see, that's what I had to learn, what I was going through. Exactly that right there. When I knew I was gonna do this, and I started doing my research, and I saw this about the grief, and after going to therapy, I realized that's what I was doing. It clicked. Grieving. I hope somebody's getting this. But you're grieving that person that is still here. You're grieving. Okay? And again, watching somebody you love slowly change in front of your face. Come on. How terrible that is. And heartbreaking that is. How heartbreaking that is. But one of the greatest sacrifices caregivers make is that they often lose a part of themselves. Even though you try not to, it happens. You lose a part of yourself. That's a sacrifice that a caregiver makes. That's a sacrifice. Now that caregiver is that caregiver that's there 24 hours. So basically moved in. That's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice. They change their whole routine change. Even your friendship, you start losing friendship. They start changing. All because this is where everything on your mind right now is entitled to right here. Now your friendships change. All of that. Sometimes people lose jobs. Sometimes people have to quit their job to do that. Okay? Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that. And it's all because a caregiver world, you being a caregiver, is all surrounded that one person, that one situation. Hope somebody's getting this. I'm about to close. My last part is what about caring for the caregiver? What about caring for the caregiver? Okay? As we talk tonight about the dementia, right? And the incredible and the responsibility that caregivers have. Let's look at how we can care for the caregiver, okay? One of the hardest things for many caregivers to do is accept help. Boom. That's one of the hardest things that somebody's doing, some caregiver of a family member or whatever, is to accept help. Let me come over, a neighbor, one of your best friends might say, well, I'll come and sit with your daddy while you go to the library and study. So no, that's not right. That's the hardest thing for a caregiver to do. Don't understand, but that's the hardest thing for a caregiver to do, is to accept help. Is to accept help. And I think, me personally, I think it's all about because they feel like they just want to do everything themselves. They want to do everything themselves. No, that's okay, I'll do it. Accept that help. If your neighbor come over and your neighbor want to come over and cook, let that neighbor come over and cook for you while you sit there and don't do nothing. Cook for y'all while you sit there and don't do nothing. But it's hard to do as a caregiver. That's hard for caregivers to do, to accept help. It's very hard. Somebody offer you help, let them do it. Let them do it. Let them do it. Let somebody come over and they contact you and say, look, what I want to do for you, because I know you used to love to go to the gym. Today, Monday, I come and sit with your dad, for about 3 hours before you go to the gym. Go. Go. But it's a hard thing to do because the caregiver feel like they have to do everything. Or they have a thing where they might not do it right. You might not do this right. You might not do the caregiver feel like they have to do everything. But if somebody step up and say, look, go to the gym. I'm gonna sit here with your dad for 3. I'm gonna give you 3 hours. I sit here. I make sure he eat. I'm gonna go in there and start cooking food for him. I'm gonna start cooking. Go ahead on to that gym. Go ahead on and get your nails done. Go ahead on and watch a movie by yourself if you want to do that. Accept that help. Accept that help from somebody, from your neighbor, from your family member, from your friend. Accept that help. Don't be like, no, that's okay. Knowing all the while, you hoping somebody do say, I do this, I help you. Come on, let's go there. Excuse me. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. You got it, but see, you have to stay in touch with your family members. You have to do that. Stay in touch with your family members. You have to do that. You have to do that. I also want to remind the caregivers that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to pick the phone up and say, look, I'm getting ready to go to the mall, or I'm getting ready to go shopping for the next 3 or 4 hours. I need you to come over here with Dad. Or if that neighbor that done told you, gave you their phone number, say, look, the neighbor that you know, y'all been knowing each other 30 years, they done put that phone number in your hand, say, look, whenever you want to get away. Because that neighbor don't work, don't have no kids there, they by themselves. That neighbor done gave you that phone number, and they done told you, look, whenever you want to get away, regardless, whatever you want to do, go grocery shopping, whatever, here's my phone number. You call me, and I'll come and sit with your dad for you. And you trust this neighbor, because y'all been friends and neighbors 30 years. Mom and dad, them know them. You see what I'm saying? You trust this person with your dad. Use that phone number. Use that phone number. I'll advise anybody to do it. Because you're not Superwoman or Superman. You're not. You're not. And I'm gonna say this: as a caretaker, family members and all, if you got some that'll do it and some that don't. Don't worry about none of that. Do what you're doing. Don't worry about if Sally Mae ain't helping. Don't worry about that. Do what you're doing. You shouldn't even worry about that. You don't know what's going on with Sally Mae. You don't know what's going on with Sally Mae. Sally Mae can't come right now. You don't know. Do you? Do what you gotta do. Well, if that neighbor offer help, take that help. Go to the spa. Go get your toes and your nails done. Just go walk on the mall. Just to get some air. Just go riding for an hour or two. Just ride. If you don't ride, just sit in the Walmart parking lot. Just sit there and cry. That's what you want to do. That's what you do. But accept that help. But I know that's hard to do because you feel like you gotta do everything. Read a book or anything. Listen to some music. How many times? See me, I love sitting on my porch. I'm glad I have a porch, y'all. I'm so country. I'm glad I got a porch. I love sitting out there till the mosquitoes start biting. Then I come back in the house. But I love sit on the porch, read a book. Even if the person is in there with your family member for an hour or two, go out there and read a book. Sit on the porch. Sit on the porch. Sip your tea, read a book. Okay? Make sure y'all do that. My caregivers, make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. You got to take care of yourself. You have to do that. You have to do that. Now, what I want to do, I want to take the final moments to encourage every caregiver who is watching tonight. If you're a caregiver, I'm not going to be able to respond to the comments right now on YouTube until I finish. I feel that you don't have to carry this alone. Before I close, you're a caregiver, you don't have to carry this alone. You don't. Caregiving was never meant to be a one-person journey. It wasn't. But if that's what it is, if that's what's happening to you as a caregiver, that's what it is. That's what it is. It never was meant to be a one-person journey. It wasn't. And I know a lot of caregivers find themselves the only person doing it. I get it. But again, you can't worry about why Sally Mae ain't doing it. Why Sally Mae ain't coming. You can't worry about that. Just do you. Just do you. If you know someone who's caring for a loved one living with dementia, don't assume they're okay. Simply because they haven't asked for help. Don't assume they're okay. Ask them how they are doing. And again, like I said, when you ask, be ready to listen. Be ready to listen. Be ready to listen. In closing, I want to leave y'all with a message. Caregivers deserve care too. You watching tonight, and if you're a caregiver, thank you so much for doing what you do. Thank you so much for doing what you do. I know it's hard. I know you probably getting behind them doors and cry, wondering why ain't nobody helping. I'm the only one doing it, or me and my other sibling, 2, 3, or 4 siblings doing it. I got 8 siblings, other 3 not helping. Don't worry about none of that. Don't worry about none of that. But if somebody offered to help, accept that help. Somebody offered to sit while you go do whatever, do that. Because your mental is all you have. Your mental is all you have. And your health matters as well. Again, thank y'all for coming in here. Thank you to those that came out and watched me live. Thank you to those that's going to be watching the replay. I really appreciate it. Not mean to hold you this long. But the conversation got too good. I shared a little bit about me. Y'all know I do that anyway. But again, tonight's episode is sponsored by my gold partner, Our Iconic Entertainment LLC Media. Y'all, there's information that's scrolling at the bottom. If you need some type of if you need some type of documentary done, anything digital done, any voiceovers done, there's information that you can that you can see. Something got my throat messed up. I don't know what it is. There's information that you can find about them. They are all black owned minority company, and they are willing to help you. Whatever concept you have, they're gonna bring it in fruition for you. And they are the ones behind the documentary Beyond the Diagnosis. Okay? And again, this episode is brought to you by Our Iconic Entertainment. Follow them, follow the film on at the Live Beyond. See it? That's how you can follow them, okay? And it's coming in 2026. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna end the show with this documentary playing again. Thank y'all for being here.
They told me 3 letters would define me. They told me to be quiet, to be ashamed.
HIV is not who I am. It does not define me. It's just something that has to live with me.
What do HIV look like? It look like me. That girl, that pretty young black girl thriving.
The thing I want the world to know about my life is that my life has never been easy. Every ache, every pain, every disappointment, it has been necessary.
HIV is not who I am. It does not define me. It's just something that has to live with me.
My status is not who I am. It does not define me. And when you start